Verveer, and with me is Maisha Alam, and we want to tell you a little bit about our course on women, peace, and security. It is a very innovative graduate course for Georgetown because it focuses on a fairly new concept, although a very important one that affects much of consideration, activity, thinking in the whole area of peace and security. The course is on women, peace and security, and the vital role that they play.
The course will focus on a variety of topics, including women's roles in peace negotiations, in mitigating humanitarian emergencies, in post-conflict reconstruction, in peacekeeping, the effect of war on women's lives, as well as the role that women can and must play in creating a more peaceful, secure, and just world.
This course really focuses on what the UN Security Council did 15 years ago, which was pass a resolution at that time that has been built on over the last decade and a half. And that is to say that women are directly linked to peace and security, that they play a significant role in prevention of conflict, a significant role in the fact that they are targeted today increasingly in civil strife and so have to be protected from the horrific sexual violence that occurs in these conflicts. They also have an absolutely essential role, although one that has not been realized as much as it needs to, in peace negotiations. And as a result, we see the kind of repetition in failed peace agreements, stemming in large part because key issues never get to the peace table. And lastly, they play a critical role in post-reconstruction work in terms of the development of programs, economic opportunity, the implementation of programs. And all of these pieces are essential to the kind of world we want to see.
It's important to recognize that this is not a women's rights course or a women's studies course. It's very much about foreign policy, about international security, about peace, about human rights. And that's what we will be looking at, and it's very practically oriented. So how do we make better policies? How do we form budgets that are gender sensitive? How do we evaluate programs that we implement on the ground? What role does government play? What role does civil society play? What role will private sector play? These are the types of questions that we will explore, and the assignments that the course has also are attuned to that type of practical application. We will also probably be seeing some guest lecturers come in from a variety of different backgrounds to tell us about their experiences, how they have implemented Resolution 1325 or national action plans around the world. And we may even do some travel and take the class on a field trip to see this type of work in action.
This class is also predicated on the fact that many governments today, some 40, including NATO and the European Union, have adopted national action plans. We have been privy to the work of the convening, the consideration of, and the implementation of the United States National Action Plan. We want to take you through that process to help you understand how this now, as a result of a presidential order, it is incumbent upon our diplomatic work, our development workers, and our work in military operations to include the perspectives of women and their participation. We also want to take you through an understanding of the role of the international organizations in this work, as well as the role that individual countries are playing. We will walk you through the history of many of the conflicts from Northern Ireland to Rwanda, to what is happening today in the Middle East, to what is happening in the Great Lakes region of Africa. All of this is very prominent in the discussion of the role that women have to have in peace and security. And as Maisha said, and I want to underscore for you, this is a critical study, a critical course that is rooted and embedded in foreign policy. I was the first U.S. ambassador for global women's issues, and during that time, Secretary Clinton and since Secretary Kerry for the United States have moved these issues to a central place in U.S. foreign policy because it is critical for the effectiveness of our foreign policy. It is critical for the development of our human development programs, and it is critical for the effectiveness of our military operations. And that's what we want to capture for you. We want you to understand why these issues are so central. Whether you go into government someday, whether you go into diplomatic work, whether you are functioning in one of the emerging markets working for the private sector, whether you go into media, these issues are going to be central issues to whatever you do. And we encourage you to seriously consider taking this course.
Thank you very much, and we hope to see you in the spring.